All right, welcome everyone, and it is time to get started. It is ABM for account expansion. My name is Ariana Shannon. I am the Director of Marketing at Sales Intel. We're a data intelligence data provider, everything from accurate contact data, from quality company insights for your targeting, and especially your ABM campaigns. So a little bit about myself. I've spent my entire career in startups and have really made a living out of creating order out of chaos. So I'm really excited to share my session with you today, and I'm just going to jump right in it. So today we're going to review how to build strong relationships and building advocates and how that's going to help expand your business organically. Part of this is going to be through our use case of chasing your champions. And it's honestly one of the hardest parts about any kind of sales process that you have is connecting with the right people and getting your foot in the door. Everyone, I've spoken to many sales professionals. If you can just get an in, if you can just follow that champion, if you can get an advocate within that account, then you're already on your process or on your journey to winning. So with that, we're going to dive into the overall synergy and internal systems that you need in order to run this campaign effectively, and then actually jump into what's the playbook to chase your champions. So with that, again, diving into the internal synergy and strategy. ABM is all about making sure that all departments are working together successfully and are unified. So we all know it works best. We all have to be striving towards a common goal. But it really starts with getting your organization aligned of how do you define success? It's very easy to say, okay, well, we have a revenue and we've got bookings. That's fantastic. But in ABM, it takes a while to run these plays. There have to be little steps along the way that you're using to measure your success. Also with that is how do you attribute that success? Are you doing it based on departments, or are you doing it through a much probably better way of just looking at overall pipeline influence and where you are in the journey? Because one thing that we often get in the challenge of is this back and forth between marketing and sales and success, especially in this use case where it's really easy to say, hey, we're going to do this over here, and then you need to be participating over at this area. It really is about creating a win-win-win situation. As the great Michael Scott is saying here, we need to get a win for sales, a win for marketing, and a win for success. So when you have everyone aligned and moving towards the proper goals, then you're already a step ahead and making sure that you're going to get this campaign off to a successful start. So again, getting your organization ready for success. It works the best when you're working towards the same goals. A multi-touch attribution model is one of the best ways to do this, or as near as you can tell, if you're able to see your first touch and your last touch, it's going to be the best way to unify all of your departments instead of dividing them in this process. You're also going to get better insight into your overall metrics of which part of this process is succeeding, which part of this process probably could use a little help, and where you're going to get your overall time savings. With this as well, once you have more insight into your processes, you're going to have a better TAC in general. You'll be able to understand how much time you should be spending on something before you move on. And especially with ABM campaigns, which are such a long tail, and we have it aptly named. It's an ABM-A-THON. It is a marathon, and you have to make sure that you are monitoring it every step of the way. Attribution is also very key to this. If you're able to use an attribution tool, that's even better. It's going to give you more insight into what channels are working, which part of your sales processes are working, and allow you to keep a much closer eye on your overall campaign. All right, and I know I'm going through a lot of information, but please feel free, if you have questions, pop them in the chat, and I'll make sure I get to them when I can. So you've got your overall org situated. Let's assume that we've accomplished a huge task and we've got everyone on the same page. You want to identify the unified measurement of success. A lot of times it's revenue. It's not a bad one to have. And then other times there are other smaller metrics that can fill up into that goal. And then you also want to start by identifying your champions. Who are your active users? Who's already an advocate of your organization, or maybe it's even sent you a couple of referrals while they've been there. Then you'll be able to create systematic alerts for your champions. There's a couple of ways to do this, but I am from Sales Intel and I drink my own champagne. So I'm going to share the way that I would set this up in our system. And then also it's very key to find the new champion at your account. These are all key data and information that you need to set up your ABM Chasing Champions campaign. All right. Without further ado, we're going to get into the ABM Champion Chase Playbook. There's a lot of materials in here, a lot of stages that we'll want to make sure that we're working together on. And let's just start with an overall map. Where are we going? What are all the steps in our ABM-A-THON? Of course, it starts with the very important part is just getting an alert as to, hey, there is a job change here. We'll show you how to do that. Or rather, we'll talk about how to do that. And then it's very important to get success and sales united. There's a lot of information, a lot of great discovery that can happen in there that's really going to inform, is this something we should chase? Is this something that we're just continuing to build on our relationship? And then, of course, you have to have marketing come in to help with everything. We all can't be everywhere at once. It takes every department, every person, every rev driver moving forward in the right direction. And then there's also a step for building up your champion. It's very important that we set them up for success. And of course, continuing to nurture the account, because timing is always interesting when it comes to org, when orgs are ready for things. Intent data is a huge component of this and it helps you identify. But again, getting that referral, getting that foot in the door, it's one of the best things that you can do. All right, and then it finishes the marathon once all is said and done. So this is our high level view. We're going to jump into the very first part of this. So the first thing is, again, about alerts and congratulations. So your first action items are going to be to create a list of all your key champions. This is going to span your org. This is people that have already been promoting you, people that are sending you good things. Maybe they also have a high NPS score, or you're seeing them as an active user. When you're able to do this, you'll also be able to add them into a search in Sales Intel. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have the time to dive in to show you that, but if you go to our sponsor booth, you'll have a quick view of our portal and ways to do this. You really just want to get all of the contacts into one area, and you want to run this as a safe search. When you create it as a safe search and you sign up for alerts, you will then get notifications of any changes to that contact data. This is where step one comes in. Through Sales Intel, I know that we're able to do this, and I'm excited for us to get started with it. That alert comes through in the process of an email notification. You'll get an alert from us and it says, hey, information has changed at this client or on this list that you saved. Now, you do need to go into and dig to what exactly changed in the data. Sometimes the phone number has been updated, which is great. You need to be able to continue to contact them. Sometimes it is the job title change, which is very important. And other times it's, hey, they've gotten a promotion and their title is now new. And so every step of the way, you'll be able to get the most accurate and current information for your champions at these accounts. This is also a great way to answer who is the new point of contact. By having a data tool, you can go into that same account, look for a similar title, or find other people within your buying center. Hopefully you've had multiple points of contact throughout your entire org that you'll be able to reach out to in case this person does move, because that is very important. We are chasing the champion, but we also want to make sure we're continuing our relationship at the existing account that we have. And then the last thing in step one of this overall journey is to determine who is your best point of contact. Now, this is going to depend on the way you organize yourselves. I would say that if you're chasing a net new account and you are chasing a champion into a new organization, that is a net new booking. That technically would fall under an account executive or full cycle sale executive. However, you could also break this down by who had the best relationship with that person. More often, the account manager or your success manager may have had the last conversation versus the sales rep. It comes down to how you want to organize it. I would recommend having the person that closed the deal reach out for a couple of reasons. And I'll get into that with our next slide, which is we are absolutely better together. this is how you're going to be unifying all of the orgs and why each department plays such an important role in this pipeline. First, it's just getting the accurate data and knowing how to contact them. And so, sorry, I got ahead of myself. Once this person moves, you're going to need a channel with which to reach out to them. So the best way to do this is either with their new email address, if you're able to get that, the LinkedIn profile, or of course a mobile phone number, depending on your relationship with this person. There are people that we connect with really quickly. And so I know I could call up someone at this organization on their phone and just have a conversation, and that would be fine from us. But then there's other people that were just in your sales process in your pipeline once upon a time. So depending upon the pre-existing relationship you've had with this person, you'll have an idea of what is the best path forward. Because your very first message is not to come out full swing with, hey, I think your new org can use our product and service. It's all about them. It is all about them to start. It's congratulating them. It's reconnecting this relationship that maybe you talked to them 2 weeks ago, or maybe it was 2 months ago. We're all busy, and we have a lot of changes that are coming through with the Great Resignation. Data is decaying at a very fast rate. So depending on your relationship, you'll know how to reach them, and then making it all about them, building on that previous relationship and adding value to their transition. And that's why the message at this state is congratulations on your new position and your new role. This is such a fantastic opportunity for you. How can I help you be successful in your first 90 days? Sometimes this isn't a direct value add or isn't a direct sale because they just got there. Anytime you've joined an organization, you know in the first couple of months, you're really just trying to get your footing, and you want to understand what's going on in the org and what's needed. Sometimes it's very easy to tell that, hey, we have a specific need. This is something that we would immediately benefit from. And sometimes it's, oh, hey, thanks so much. I appreciate you reaching out to me. I'm trying to get my footing. But I'm actually kind of looking for this right now. So just like you would in a regular sales process, when you're chasing your champion, it's all about providing value where they are. Because once you've created that relationship and you're continuing to build on that, you're going to have a new path to discovery. So part of this is discovering where they are, what do they need? And so you're continuing to monitor the relationship that way. But internally, you're also getting more information. This is very, very key. From your success org, you're going to need to understand, what was that champion's experience? Was there something that they truly enjoyed about your product or service? Or was there a challenge that they had? And again, you've identified your champions, so these should be power users. But if there's any areas that you know that they were really strong in, this is information that you can pull from your success team to see what is the best path forward and what is going to connect with this person. For example, if they really enjoyed using a specific feature, I'll use sales intel as an example. If you really enjoyed leveraging intent data because it helped you organize your pipeline and all of the accounts that you could go after, then you can reach out to this person when the time is right and ask, hey, are you able to organize your accounts? How's that going for you? Is that a challenge that you're facing? And being able to already know kind of where's the secret sauce and what's going to get their attention if they're not already asking you for it already. And then, or I already mentioned what did they like most about you. And then it's also going to be a turn at the ICP and the fit. Because just because someone moves jobs or moves companies does not necessarily mean that that company is a good fit for you. So you might be thinking, Ariana, why are we vetting the company that they moved to this late in the process? Well, it's part of that. It's part of that challenge. You'll have the part of this, which is building the relationship. You want to keep moving forward and keep touching base, because that's a great way, even if they can't use your service where they're at now, they'll remember you. It'll be a part of their org. And if they have other conversations, other partners, other people, you keep top of mind. And if there is an absolute fit and are qualified, then it's going to be a great opportunity for you to jump in. All right. Looks like everyone's with me so far. Okay. So then you've gone through your ICP, you've looked at the organization, you've been able to run this through your fit score and actually determine that this is a match. So we're going to move forward working under the assumption that your champion is now at an organization that is a fit and can not only afford your service, but also benefit from it as well. This is where it comes to building up your champion. You already have an advocate that's in the organization, and this is your time to add value and also to make this a much easier conversation. So again, they've been qualified, this is a match, excuse me. This is the time where it's, can I help? Is there any material, or can I help you start this conversation in your organization? Feel free to bring me in if needed. This is where you've already identified that there is a pain. They've been at the organization long enough to get an understanding of what's going on there. And so this is where you can start to truly equip the champion with materials they need to succeed. And these are, again, nothing surprising here. Your one-pagers, your battle cards. If you're being compared with a certain competitor, you can get some information. You can show how you're doing that. Any kind of short video that would highlight a use case that you have. And of course, any pertinent case studies. If you've been able to help a similar organization with a similar problem, that's just one of the best ways to do this. And again, want to take a pause here and explain the importance of building up your champion, and not that this is handing the sales process over to someone else entirely. Because if you're a sales rep, you do want to maintain control of that journey. You do want to continue to set up next steps, because you have to be answerable to what's going on in your pipeline. What this is equipping that advocate within that organization to get your foot in the door. And again, reminding them along the way, hey, please bring me into this conversation when it's time. More than happy to do that. Here's some base information. If you want advanced answers to specific questions, that's when you want to bring me in. Again, advanced answers to specific questions. You want to give them enough information so you can get to the table, but you don't want to give so much information that you never get a seat at it. Because it's always like the game of telephone. If you say one thing, it can kind of get diluted as it goes down the pipeline. And again, this is when we need to remember that this is an ABM-A-THON. It is not a sprint. This is what takes time. If they're already an advocate in the champion and they believe in the solution, that's fantastic. You have an internal voice and potentially some internal information if they're willing to share with you as far as which party in the buying center is the most apt to do this, who's maybe challenging a bit more, where do you really need to come prepared to that conversation. Alrighty, then we have the other part that goes hand in hand with this, because like I said, this is all departments coming together towards a common goal. So while you're in the process of gaining this information, rebuilding this relationship, once you've identified that this account is a match, you need to be telling your marketing org immediately. This is where they can start to provide air cover and nurture the account from a high level. So while you're working with a specific contact and maybe one or two decision makers, marketing will be able to provide a multi-channel approach to this organization. Again, that's through things that we all know very well as marketers, the PPC campaigns, email marketing, even some direct mail campaigns, depending on the size of the opportunity that's there. But it really is in your best interest, because what this allows you to do is you're having this conversation, you're building in the information, or you're providing value, you're building in information, and then you have marketing sprinkling in over the top of this of, hey, this is who I am. This is who this company is. This is the value that we provide. And so even when that champion goes into that conversation, you'll have a better sense of, oh yeah, I've heard of that organization, instead of what are you talking about? Who are they? We've never heard of them before. It's all hitting the organization from multiple points of view at the same time. So again, this is running in tandem with you organizing all of your outreach and building up your champion. Alrighty, and then we also get into the structure for success. This is by getting in full buy-in to your organization, making sure that you're speaking the same language and that each department knows their role. And again, this is key when you get into those early steps of discovery. because you're working with your champion that's in the org that's relatively new. They're able to ask some good questions, but any additional information that you can get as far as what did that champion like about what we were offering, maybe what were we weak in, how can we help build them up, how can we answer the questions that they're going to have for us. Also, it's so when called upon, the individual AEs and AMs know more or less why this question is being asked in the first place. Instead of a, why do you need that information? It's, oh, okay, we're chasing the champion that moved. That's so great for them. Yeah, let me tell you all about it. And so it just becomes a smoother internal process as well. The other key component for structuring your success, again, it's all about data. Quality data in, quality deals out. You need the alerts for the job changes and for any kind of contact changes that happens there. You also need contact data for where they moved from, the existing account. You need to know who is the new champion, who's your new decision maker, so you can maintain the relationship at your current account. And then you need the new contact data for the person that's moving so that you can accurately chase them across the companies that they're going. And then it's all up to you to start your ABM-A-THON. The internal discovery, building out account qualification, building up your champion, and nurturing all the way through. Again, very high level of the approach to chasing your champion playbook. But thank you so much, everyone, for listening. We have a couple of more minutes for questions as well. So feel free to start popping those in the Q&A. We've already got one in here since I've been chatting, which is, what tool do you use for attribution? There's a lot of really great tools out there. And again, sharing information. I'm actively looking for the best fit for my organization in terms of how we want to do this. Some of the ones I know of are like Attribution App, Visible. Those would be multiple multi-touch attribution tools that are available to you. All righty. Well, then I suppose that was very succinct. I look forward to seeing everyone's Chase Champion playbooks out there and running, and just to hear how everyone is succeeding. If you guys are able to run this, please feel free to contact me. I'm on LinkedIn. You can let me know how it's going, and enjoy the rest of the day at the ABM-A-THON. I know we have a lot of other great speakers. And again, thank you for your time and attention, and have a wonderful day. Bye now.